Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Am I the A-hole? This one's from user 0587 Throwaway. Would I be the a-hole for reporting a coworker to HR for trying to feed me? I, 24 male, am a small man, 5'4" and 103 pounds as of my last physical. I'm well aware I'm at an unhealthy weight. My entire life I've been small, mostly due to illnesses and myriad allergies, and it's admittedly a sore spot. I am working with my doctor to gain weight while still fitting in with my dietary restrictions. No meat, dairy, gluten, or nuts. And honestly, I'm so much better than I was several months ago and proud of myself for the progress I've made. A coworker, Peg, 30-ish female, got pregnant and recently returned to work late November. She's been increasingly overt and uncomfortable in her concern for me. Peg made and brought in cupcakes for her return, and when I thanked her for thinking of us but refused, citing my gluten allergy, she was visibly upset. She didn't shout or complain much, just sighed heavily and said that she would put this one in the break room with the rest. I felt awful. Then she brought me a steak sandwich the next day, on gluten-free bread. Again, I thanked her, but I had brought in my own lunch and needed to focus on that. Peg told me it was in the fridge for when I finished. Ended up bringing it home so she wouldn't feel bad and gave it to my boyfriend. Next day, she approached again. I refused again. She insisted. By now, we weren't alone in the break room. She joked that it was rude to refuse a home-cooked meal in favor of that, my lunch. At that point, I took it and thanked her. Boyfriend ended up eating it. Then she just started leaving bagged snacks on my desk. She would approach with a snack or a portion of whatever she made for dinner the night before and not leave me be until I had taken it. I went to our boss and explained that I felt uncomfortable and was told that she was probably feeling maternal and it would negatively impact morale to discourage her. So I've been taking notes since then. What days Peg has given me what, when, who witnessed it, etc. From the 8th of December to now, she's done it 23 times. Side note, I will include a link in the description to a post where OP gives us these notes. I will not be reading them on this video because that would make this video very long. Let's continue. Yesterday, I took Peg aside and explained that while I was touched, I would appreciate it if she wouldn't bring anything else. She said that I should have said something sooner. She was only trying to help. Have I seen myself in a mirror? Does your boyfriend like you starving yourself? Among other phrases. Livid, I told her that maybe I didn't feel like sharing my personal medical history with her just so that my wishes were respected. For heaven's sake, we work with a hospital. Don't you know anything about HIPAA? We parted from there, me childishly storming off and her in tears. Have I already been a huge A, and would a report to HR just be the icing on the butt cake? The judgment is not the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Rania86 says, not the a-hole. Even if she stops now, you can tell HR that you had a discussion with her and you do not require actions at this moment. But you want to put this on the record. Consider this. What if she complains to HR about a hostile work environment? Make sure your side of the story is on record somewhere. Quote, I went to our boss and explained that I felt uncomfortable and was told that she was probably feeling maternal and it would negatively impact morale to discourage her. End quote. Can I just say that this boss is a huge asshat? Your coworker is clueless and annoying, but your boss should have taken action here. They just didn't want to deal with it, so your complaint wasn't properly addressed. She is the biggest a-hole in all of this. Recalcitrant Opinions says, not the a-hole, but hear me out. I think you should bring this up to HR primarily to report how your boss handled, or in this case, did not handle, the issue. You say that you think you and your coworker have resolved the situation and hope there will be no further incidents to report, but that you want to provide the documented evidence just in case, as well as express your frustration that you were essentially told your discomfort does not matter because the offending party is pregnant. The Mirror's Truth says, not the a-hole. Yes, you might have just told her to stop at the beginning without giving your medical history, but she likely wouldn't have listened. I would report her and your boss. Boss should have stepped in the moment you asked. Helena Kelleher adds, literally just finished a work harassment training and this is like checking all the boxes. Unwelcome and pervasive, changing the dynamic of the workplace, and supervisor has not stepped in. 23 effing times? I'm surprised OP has been so patient. Breaks my heart he'd feel bad for this. OP's edit. To address a few commonly raised points, I said no thank you repeatedly to her face when she gave the food. She in turn would refuse to leave my desk or to stop talking to me in the break room or halls until I took it. She returned to work late November before Thanksgiving and started this behavior almost immediately. I waited until the 8th of December to speak with our boss, who is a woman, if that matters, and only then started counting the incidents. She is also no longer pregnant. Rather, I should have said that she returned from maternity leave. Edit 2. I am aware I misused HIPAA, but was referencing it in the context that she should know better than to pry into medical history to satisfy her curiosity. Also, I wasn't thinking clearly when I said that to her. Okay, OP, here's the thing. I believe you're not the a-hole and that you definitely need to go to HR to leave a record of this like the commenters are suggesting. But mostly because your boss didn't handle this. She's the leader of the team. It falls under her responsibility to deal with this kind of stuff. And I have to say that because Peg has just had a baby and she may be feeling maternal and she sees you with your low weight and just wants to nurture you or whatever, yeah, that could happen. It is still not a valid reason to harass you every day and trying to get you to eat stuff. That's not right. In other words, Peg may have had the best of intentions, but she went about it wrongly and made you uncomfortable. But of course, that's just my opinion. So let's move on with the update to see what happened after this. I went to HR saying that the matter was settled, but I wanted it documented. Subsequently was told that there would be an investigation and the incidents would be corroborated with witnesses. Because, as is the full record, I claim is severe enough to warrant potential action for Peg and several other co-workers who also engaged in her behavior. HR started the process apparently immediately because I walked in yesterday to a crap storm. This plunged the department into civil war. Many agree Peg was out of line. Some told me I should have kept the status quo. Some said I was ungrateful and entitled. One said I should have handled this maturely and who could blame her when I look like that? And I should be ashamed of myself. Another co-worker suggested I work from home. Another told me he was sorry for not stepping in. I went to get my lunch out of the fridge only to find someone had disposed of it and left behind the empty Tupperware. Nearly everyone has an opinion. The people in my corner have advised me to keep my head down and to take care. My boss held a meeting, first with Peg and me, then a second with just me. During the one with Peg, I was told to apologize for my part and Peg likewise. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable by caring about your health. My boss asked if I was satisfied now. I brought up Peg's comments and my boss said I invited them. No one would call that harassment, and I need to work on myself. Together, we went through each of the 23 events. She excused each of them until I was left to feel like I'd been harassing Peg. The next meeting was even worse. Effectively, boss said, I told you not to retaliate and instead you searched Peg out to harass her, and your actions have expressed a worrying lack of cooperation with me and your team. She was also disappointed that instead of explaining that I needed her to resolve things, I escalated the situation well beyond the point of reason and was cruel to someone who only wanted to help. She said I won't get far in life and I'm not likely to get anywhere vocationally if I can't be a team player and actively sabotage a happy workplace. She hoped I will learn from this teachable moment how to behave in a collaborative environment and it's inappropriate to involve HR for small misunderstandings. Boyfriend is spitting mad. I'm just tired, confused, and hurt. HR seemed sympathetic, boss is very clearly on Peg's side, The office is split and tense. Currently updating my resume and job searching. It really does feel like a nightmare. Haven't felt good going into work for a while, and this just made it 10 times worse. OP, I'm so sorry you have to go through this. Your situation sucks. I most definitely do not think that you should be the one looking for a job or, quitting. But it might be your best option, because the place that you work at right now clearly is not about having a great workplace environment. It's about the status quo and not rocking the boat, which sucks. That meeting you had with your boss and Peg was so sucky. What a BS non-apology. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable by caring about your health. Get bent and mind your own business. You told her plenty of times that you weren't interested in her help. Also, the fact that your boss said that she was disappointed that you didn't explain to her that you needed her to resolve things, that's her job as a team leader. You shouldn't be telling her how to do her job. She should know this. But of course, you all know that that's just my opinion. Anyways, OP, whatever happens to you in the future, whether you stay in that company or not, all the best. Take care. And that's it for this video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave links in the description. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.